And here we are with the famous to Spyker, the LM85 car. This is a UK car. Can you explain what LM85 really means? Because it sounds like quite a random number, but obviously it isn't.
Well, about that 85 number, there's a lot to do with Spyker. It's actually a traditional race number, the start number that Spyker always has at the Le Mans endurance races.
Which you're always there, every year you're there.
We're always there.
I'm camping every year as well, and I'm seeing these Spyker cars. It's pretty impressive.
It's lovely because the competition is so fierce, and the class is really dominated by Ferrari and Porsche. But we have a factory team, which means that it's our car which is on that track as well, together with all the Porsches and the Ferrari and Aston Martin. It's really tough to beat them, but it's just fantastic because the people and the fans, they really laugh at Spyker seeing on the track, and you must have the same feeling as well.
I've been there. I've been watching the Orange days with the Orange Spyker days. Really good fun.
Of course, orange being the national colour of Holland. This is the traditional Spyker racing livery, if you like. So it's the gunmetal paint with the orange together. The one season in Formula 1, which we did in 2007, those cars also had exactly the same. It's called burnt almond orange.
Burnt almond orange. Very nice.
So it had exactly the same livery in Formula 1. And this car is a fantastic project because we literally did it with a handful of guys in the office, and we said, look, we have to create something very unusual, cool, with the Spyker Laviolette model. And the Laviolette is the name for our coupe. So we did. So this was the car that we came up with, and it was literally that in a small team we made the design ourselves, and we were thinking, okay, what can we do with that car in terms of features and optional.
So it's the extreme version of the Spyker Laviolette.
Yeah, well, it's not that extreme, but it was funny because we stepped up to the board, to the management board, and we said, look, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to make. And they said, well, of course, they had some questions about it, and they wanted to see some improvements, but we did it and we made it. And there's only one in the UK at the moment, which is this car, right-hand drive car.
Yes.
And as we speak, we just started the assembly of another car, LM85, in Holland, in Zeewolde, in the factory, which is another right-hand drive car. And that car will be the very, very last LM85 available worldwide. I mean, all of them are gone. There's just one more available, and obviously in a right-hand drive version. Yeah.
But it's a pretty special machine then. So this is something that will be always going up in value as well, in theory, because these are one of the first few cars that have ever been made, and this is one of the dedicated racing version cars as well.
What you typically see with Spykers is that they don't need to go at some point. Customers, most of the time, they have a lot of cars in their collection. Spyker is always the lovely addition to that collection, but customers, they tend to change cars very quickly, but typically the Spyker is a keeper. It doesn't need to go. It always stays. Yeah, it always stays in the collection. It's almost if they keep it for the next generation, if you like.
Makes sense. It's like a watch that you hand down.
Yeah. And then for the LM85, for example, specifically about this car, because it's built in such a limited series, I think customers, they will keep it, definitely.
And the power on this one is what, Peter?
The power is also 400 brake horsepower.
It's a manual?
It's a manual gearbox, 6-speed gate rack.
And it has an airbag steering wheel as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, it has an
That's pretty impressive.
Wheel. It's full of Alcantara, beautifully contrast orange stitched interior.
Very sexy.
It has the exhaust pots of the original Laviolette GT2 Le Mans car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's fantastic sound. AP racing brakes, same brakes as we use on the race cars for Le Mans. It's fantastic. It's just everything about it. I love.
Yeah, very nice. Well, thank you very much for explaining this car. This is quite a special car. I know this one particularly well. As I said, it's a UK owner's car, and as explained before, it's a heart to Le Mans. And really a starting point to the lovely Airlon, well, I'm going to call it Airlon 2, the new one, but it's obviously called Aileron, sorry.
Yeah.
Aileron, that's my tongue in my mouth going the wrong way. But yeah, thank you very much for introducing the cars, and very good to meet you as well. And it's been fun explaining from one car company to another in theory.
It was my pleasure, likewise.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Good to see you, Arash.
Okay.
Thank you.